Christmas, and welcome back to another cooking video with the Alleluia podcast. As always, we have our regular podcast that comes out every single Friday, so be sure to check that out. But today, we are going to be making the classic Japanese Christmas cake. If you're a fan of anime at all, you have probably seen an episode of a Christmas episode in one of these anime and seen that they always have cake on Christmas as a tradition. So we wanted to recreate one of those Japanese Christmas cakes. So let's jump in and get going with our recipe today. For the sponge cake, you'll need 4 large eggs at room temperature, 120 grams or half a cup plus 2 tablespoons of granulated sugar, 120 grams or 1 cup of cake flour that's been sifted, 30 grams or 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter, melted and then cooled, and 1 tablespoon of milk at room temperature. As you've seen in the Japanese anime shows, you've probably seen that they've got strawberries on top of the cake. So this cake is going to be essentially a shortcake with strawberries and whipped cream. It should be really light and fluffy, and it's going to be delicious. So for the sponge cake, you're first going to want to make sure to put your oven preheated at 340 degrees Fahrenheit or 170 degrees Celsius. And you'll want to get an 8-inch cake pan. Mine is a springform pan because I don't have any other cake pans. That's it. That's all we have. So you want to get your cake pan, and then you're going to want to get a piece of parchment paper that you have cut into a circle for the size of your cake pan. And you'll want to spray your cake pan with any kind of cooking spray. This one is terrible. I hate it. It is coconut oil, and it gets all stuck in the spray nozzle. Not great. So spray it all down. And then as an extra precaution, I'm actually going to get some just all-purpose flour, and I'm going to dust the inside. It doesn't have to be anything too extra here. Oop. I'm making a mess. This just helps the batter not stick. All right, and then we're gonna put our parchment paper on top of that because we don't want any sticking whatsoever. We want this cake to be light and fluffy and delicious. So we're gonna spray again, and that'll be it. We don't need any more flour. So we're going to set that aside now that we've gotten the baking dish prepared. Now we've gotten to the point where we're gonna start mixing. We've got our giant stand mixer here. Literally, the holidays is the only time we pull this thing out, but it is pretty handy to have because I do not want to do this by hand. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by beating the eggs. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our eggs and our sugar, and we're going to mix it until we get a paste that is formed. And that will take about 8 to 10 minutes. You want it to be light and fluffy. Our batter has been mixing our eggs and our sugar, and we have come to ribbon stage here, which really just means that you whisk it long enough to when you take your whisk and you drag what's on there across, it should form little ribbons. and it should be a pale color. That's what we're looking for, and that is what we have achieved. This is going to be the bulk of our rising, I guess, for the cake. So, we don't want the whisk to fall in. All right, so we're gonna take it off of the stand mixer because we want to now fold in as gently as possible our sifted flour. So we're going to do this in several additions. So we're going to add some of the flour, and then we're going to fold it in. I am so excited about making this Christmas cake because we've watched anime for a while now, and we see the episodes where they have this Christmas cake, and I'm like, what is that? It looks so good. So I'm really excited to be able to try this. So let us know in the comments, what is your favorite episode of anime with a Christmas cake in it? Or it doesn't have to have Christmas cake. And then what are your family traditions? We would love to know. Okay, in goes the butter. And we're going to also put the milk in. And we are going to fold this in to our batter. Now we've got all of this folded in. We're going to pour our batter into that cake tin that we prepared earlier. Okay, so we've got some air bubbles in the top. So we're just gonna tap it down. All right, so that's it. Now we're going to pop this into the oven for about 25 to 30 minutes, or until a toothpick comes out and is clean. So let's put it in. All right, so our cake has come out of the oven, and now it needs to cool. So we're gonna let our cake cool in the pan for 10 minutes, and then we're going to take it out of the pan and let it cool on a wire rack. In the meantime, we are going to be making a syrup that we're going to be drizzling on top of the cake, and also whipped cream for the top of the cake, and we're going to cut up some strawberries as well so that we get the classic sort of strawberry shortcake look and taste. So we're going to get started on that. For the syrup, you're going to need 2 tablespoons of granulated sugar, which we have here, 2 tablespoons of water, and then because we're fancy, we're going to be adding in a little bit of almond extract to give it a little pizzazz. That's totally optional, though. If you don't want or have almond extract, then that's totally fine. There's actually lots of other things you could put in it. You could put some orange juice or lemon juice or lots of other different things. So there's options, but you do not have to add anything extra. You can just make your simple syrup, which is equal parts water and sugar. So that's what we're going to do now. We're going to heat it up over the stove until it's dissolved, and then just put it aside, basically. Let it cool. All right, onto the stovetop. So we are going to work on our heavy whipping cream, our whipped cream, which uses heavy whipping cream. So you're going to need about, 400 milliliters of heavy whipping cream. or about 1 3/4 cup of heavy cream that's been chilled. And then we're going to do 40 grams of powdered sugar, which is like 3 tablespoons. And then we'll do 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. So we're going to go back to our stand mixer here, Old Faithful. So all you have to do for the whipped cream is take your heavy whipping cream, pour it into your stand mixer here, and then take your powdered sugar, put that in, and then we're going to take the vanilla. And again, this is like, use your heart. That's how I do vanilla anyway. So we're going to turn this on and we're going to mix it until we get stiff peaks. So stiff peaks is where you take your whisk, you kind of whisk it around, and when you pull it up, it looks like Who Mountain in How the Grinch Stole Christmas. So it's got the little swirly tip on the top. So that's what we're looking for with our whipped cream here. Our whipped cream is done. I think I overmixed just a little because we do not have a Who Mountain. Instead, it's just very, very well whipped cream. It's going to be okay, but yeah, just a little overmixed. We also had another little mishap when off camera here. So we had our lovely sponge cake that was chilling, doing its thing, and I set it off to the side for a moment, and it tipped into the sink and into some water, and so I had to cut away some of the cake. So if you notice it a little bit smaller, that's why. And I did use a little bit too big of a pan, I realize now, because we're supposed to be able to cut it in half, and it's quite thin for that. So maybe use like a 6-inch pan or something like that. Either way, we are going to assemble this thing. And so we're going to take our big bread knife here and we're going to cut it in half. Well, I wasn't even. It's fine. We're not professionals here. It's okay. So I'm going to take some of the whipped cream. I'm going to put it down here on the cake. Okay. Now I'm going to take our strawberries and wash them. All right, so we've got our strawberries that we have washed, and then I've just cut the tops off. To the cream. And then we're going to put more cream on top. Okay. Generous. So we're going to take our top and put our top on. And I totally forgot the syrup on the bottom layer. That's fine. So actually, to help it go down, I'm going to poke some holes in it. And you're definitely supposed to do this on like both layers, unless you're me and you forget. It is going to be very tasty either way. Okay. So our syrup on. Now we're going to put the rest of our whipped cream on top. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Okay, now we're going to take some whole strawberries and we're going to put them around the edge of the cake. have it, our Japanese Christmas cake. It looks beautiful. We've had some mishaps throughout the process, but I think it turned out looking pretty darn good. So I'm really excited to dive in and take a try. And if you like these videos that we do, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and then of course, ring that notification bell if you want to get notified every time that we post a video. And that's going to be it for today. So have a very Merry Christmas. We wish you guys the best of the holiday season. Enjoy time with family and friends and be merry.